Welcome to the Cast Blast Grill Chill podcast with Jeremy and Trevor, the podcast that's all about hunting, fishing, grilling, and chilling out and having a good time in the outdoors.
Sorry, I caught your fish.
Don't be trying to catch my fish.
Hey, you got a ball bearing loose in this thing.
Ball bearing loose in what? Your reel?
Yeah.
Well, Trevor, what are we doing today?
Not catching that giant fish over there?
Well, yeah.
Well.
Not yet.
Shoot, man, I came out right at sun up, trying out the new Obsession bow. It came in the mail. And, yeah, trying out the new bow. Trying to get on some hogs. It's right before a rain front's coming in. So everything had dried up the past few days. It's been pretty warm, pretty sunny. Sorry if I sound distracted. We're throwing a few lines out after the hunt.
So far, I'm up to 1 keeper bass.
I'm up to 0 caught. So we're definitely not bringing home the bacon today.
Or the fish.
Didn't see any pigs. Didn't hear any pigs. Walked entirely too far to not hear or see anything, man. But I did see a ton of deer. I ate a lot of deer. Just kind of walked this levee road that basically goes in a square, and it gets pretty thick in a lot of places. But yeah, it was a lot of walking, not much sign, not many sightings, no shed antlers. But, you know, as of, what was it, 3 weeks ago, we still had deer holding antlers over here. So I don't know where they're at, but I didn't see anything with horns on today, and I didn't get close enough to see if the deer I did see had pedicles or not. So
yeah, I only saw 2 white tails bounding through the woods as I was off chasing what I thought was to be the smell of a pig. I didn't see any pigs. I saw some squirrels, a lizard.
Did you keep going in a circle? Did it end up being you? The
No.
smell? No. No.
Not this time.
No. Well, I smell pretty bad.
Yeah, I smell pretty ripe too, but I changed shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some fancy new Cast Blast Grill Chill t-shirts, or not t-shirts, but
It's like a Columbia
fishing shirt, heavy duty stuff. It's got, man, I am a big fan of pockets. Hey, fish on.
No.
Oh, spit it out. Well, yeah, but I'm a big fan of shirts with pockets. I won't buy anything without pockets. So I'm definitely happy because there's about, how many pockets are in that thing?
4 or 5 at least.
4 or 5 pockets on a shirt.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pockets.
I feel like I'm wearing a Scotty vest or something, you know.
Yeah, it's nice to have those pockets.
Yeah, I could fill them up too, man. I'd add 50 pounds of weight to the shirt.
Well, they're real great for fishing because it's got that little zipper pocket on the inside where you can put your little tackle box and stuff, especially for wade fishing or something.
Yeah, if you're out there fly fishing or something, a fly box will fit perfectly in there.
Yeah. By the way, we need to get down to the coast here pretty soon and let's see if we can go catch some fish.
Yeah, I just did an interview with a guide down there, and kind of got the fishing report from him, and he said it was a lot of trial and error, and you know, this not working, but this works. Oh, now it stopped working. Try something different. And he said he's carrying all kinds of baits and throwing artificials, throwing live baits, throwing 3-4 kinds of different live baits and cut baits, and said it's just hard fishing. The weather's been weird, but you know, that could have changed because we had a pretty hot couple of days. We're gonna get some more rain here, but I don't know what the future holds for forecast for the temperature, at least.
Yeah, the next time you're off a call, we need to go break out the jugs and come out here and go set all those jugs. And
yeah, man, we usually do a jug trip every year, but yeah, not this year. We hadn't done one yet. I got a guided fishing trip planned, not next weekend, but the one after that. So I'll be making me a fish haul, hopefully, and hopefully the bite will be on.
Where is that one at? Is that on?
I'm gonna butcher the name. Richard
Richland Chamberlain.
Richland Chamber. Yeah, whatever.
Richland Chamberlain.
Yeah, Richland Chamberlain. Yeah, I just want to call it like Richard Chambers
RC.
or something. But yeah, it's over there. Guide over there, and they put you up in a little cabin, mini fridge and all that stuff. So I'll be living in luxury. No tent camping to make my springtime fishing trip this year.
Well, shoot, I may have to come get the jugs from you so I can go do me a meat haul in the old Navasota River.
Yeah, my tags just expired in the boat, or I'd be thinking probably be out in the boat today rather than out here fishing for the bank. I hadn't taken the boat out to a new lake over there right by my new house, so I want to check it out. A bunch of guys on the Facebook groups seem to be doing real well for whites, hybrids, and largemouth out there for the past couple of weeks. So hopefully by the time I get tags and everything, it won't be too late, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell everybody what you've been up to with your new project you got going?
New project. Launched a new podcast. It's called Hunt, Fish, Repeat. Name kind of speaks for itself. It's more of an interview-based podcast. It's myself, for the most part, going to be interviewing guests, more informational. So if you like that style, go over and check it out. Website's huntfishrepeat.net, and you can check out the first episode is live now on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play.
Actually, the second episode will be out by the time this gets out.
Yeah, by the time this gets out. So you got the regional director for Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana for the QDMA is episode number 1. Episode number 2 is going to be Mike Soha, Captain Mike with Skinny Water Cowboys Guide Service, and he's out of Rockport, Texas. So we talk a little bit about effects of the hurricane, how that affects the fisheries, stuff like that. That was a real good podcast. It was a lot of fun. I like talking to Mike. So got a few more on the books. So check it out. I know if y'all like this one, y'all like the other one. I'm definitely not going anywhere from this one, so you get to keep hearing my beautiful voice.
You're going to cast in front of me, I'm going to cast in front of you. At least
Dang,
the fish
bro,
are jumping over there.
Hey, dang.
Yeah, so far we managed to catch one white bass. It's a pretty good one. It's, what, 12, 13 inches or so?
I like how there's a "we" on there, because if it was my fish, I may not have done you the courtesy.
Well, I mean,
just being honest.
I figured you wouldn't. You're an asshole.
Well, we did do some. So I got the new Obsession turmoil, and I was sighted into 20 and 30, and went out and was doing a hunt. Not going to shoot over that. All the other pins were just stacked down to the bottom. But we both did some shooting after the hunt and shot all the way out to 60 yards. Ended up splitting one of Jeremy's Black Eagle arrows, and split it just straight in half. Almost lost another squirrely one he had in the bunch, but he recovered it. So, and then I lost a fletching on another arrow, but the bow is the pins are on in the right place, and I just got to get to practicing some more on some of my longer shots, my 50s and 60s. I need a little work on that, but yeah, we got some target shooting in, got a hog hunt in, getting some fishing in. I'll try to stack it all in before this big rain tomorrow, and got to go back to work the next day after that. So
I'm tired of work.
Me too, man. I keep daydreaming of, just saying, screw it all, and moving out into the thicket somewhere and growing a beard. I already got a beard, but growing a
real beard.
A real beard that I don't have to trim. And
growing that one like I had until a few weeks ago.
Grizzly Adams style, like shit like that. So yeah, I daydream about it, but I do like Whataburger a lot, and I'd miss some things.
Well, I mean, you could trap some beavers and stuff and sell some beaver pelts for monthly trip into Whataburger.
Can you imagine me walking in trying to, I don't even know what I'd be wearing. I'd probably be wearing a beaver pelt, Speedo type thing, walking out of the woods onto some county road and falling into town, and trying to sell my beaver pelts.
Man, you'd be that guy.
My Texas beaver pelts. So it'd be like, all right, bro, I'll give you like 30 cents. Like, oh, missed him.
I
Man.
was about to say, you see, it looked like a redfish tailing over there. I don't know what it was. It was up on the surface over there underneath those sticks.
Yeah, I sure do like those freshwater redfish, man.
It wasn't a redfish, but it looked like it.
This dude over here caught a bowfin earlier, and he needed some fish ID help.
Yeah, he was like, what is this fish?
What?
I've been hunting and fishing all my life.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen one of these.
Yeah, so that was, I don't like those things. I don't know why.
I'd like to catch
They're
one
nasty
on this.
looking.
I'd like to catch one on this 2-pound test on this crappie rod of mine.
Not saying that it wouldn't be fun to catch, but I mean, shoot, it's like catching a freshwater drum. It's like catching a gaspergoo. It's fun to fight them, but I don't keep them.
Well, that's like the last time I went down below the spillway. I probably caught 4 gaspergoos, each one over 10 pounds on this little 2-pound ultralight.
Yeah, I mean, that's a blast, and I think that's why a lot of people do. They go fly fish for carp.
Yeah.
Do a lot of that. So I mean, that's got to be a blast if you just catch and release. But I sure do like eating too.
Yeah, I'd rather catch stuff I can eat.
Yep.
Cut baits trying to eat my lure.
Yep. Yeah, man. So we've been doing that. We've been busy. Jeremy's got 2 podcasts. By the time this is out, they should probably. Both of those will be out before this one comes out.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably stack this one on the front of the National Wild Turkey Federation interview.
There you go. So y'all be hearing this right before y'all get to hear some nice facts about some turkeys. And Josh is on that podcast. And thanks to Josh for covering my butt and able to get out there and helping get in touch with that guest. And
you gonna catch that fish, or you gonna keep missing him?
I don't know if it's fish or not, if I'm just hitting the same stick every time. Yeah, good times, man. Finally in spring. Jeremy and I were talking earlier that he was just out here 2 weekends ago, and I was just out here 3 weekends ago. And the green up, how quickly that happened. Because, I mean, there was, the buds before they're even changing colors on the trees, but man, we had a couple of days after some rain of nice sunshine, and it exploded in green. It's like somebody just threw neon green spray paint all the cans and fucking shot them up all over the place over here. So
it's definitely greening up. It's definitely time to get out and fish. And turkey season opened today. So I know there's some boys out there that probably got them some long beards today.
Yeah, and you saw a turkey track today. You took a picture and showed me out here at this property, but it is not on the game that is legal to be harvested on this this public piece over here, unfortunately. Probably due to some population issues, but
yeah, I just caught another fishing line. I didn't get hung up that time.
The only good fishing line to catch is one with a fancy lure at the end.
Or one with a fish on the end.
Or one with the fish on the end, I guess, yeah.
I've done that once before.
Yeah, somebody's broken off fishing line.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's down on the coast, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to make a trip up to Austin and get them jugs from you since your boat's out of inspection, and go put the canoe in and go make our annual catfish run. Maybe you'll come and paddle the canoe with me.
I come paddle the canoe with you. Yeah, I got a... Ooh. Man, he caught a monster. This is Moby Dick in here. Moby Dick.
Yeah, Moby Dick stickfish.
Moby Dick stickfish. Well.
It's been about 5 minutes since I've been broke off, so it's about time again.
I don't know if we mentioned if we're out here trying to catch white bass and crappie and stuff, so probably should have mentioned that if we're talking about how much we're getting hung up. So that kind of self-explanatory once you say that, right?
Well, I'm not even on my spot where I leave all my tackle usually.
Yeah.
All my tackle is usually further down the creek.
Yeah. I'd like to get in the middle of summer, come out here with the snorkel, and I'm gonna hit that turtle with this spinnerbait. Watch. Oh!
Right in front of him.
He didn't flinch, did he?
Well, yeah, but seeing as how what you're calling a turtle is a stick,
That ain't a stick. That's a turtle.
All right.
That's a turtle. I see his feet swimming. Is this Jeremy Bad Eyes trying to prove me wrong, man?
Oh,
There he goes. He's swimming away.
Man, it's all right. I'm going next week to get glasses. So.
All right.
Oh, fish on.
Nope. No. Either he hung me up. That
was a fish.
That was a fish. He hung me up somehow. I don't know if I got my lure still or not. Yeah.
Yep.
No lure.
You made a donation.
All right. Yep. I need to invest in a snorkel.
I got one at the house. I got a snorkel and a mask.
I guess I was fishing this line the whole time.
It's been funny had that pole taken off into the water.
Yeah, you ever caught a fish with lure just sitting?
Yeah, actually, I fished a like a DOA shrimp underneath a popping cork one time.
Yeah.
And like set it down
I can see that.
over the edge of a pier, and was just letting it sit there, and all of a sudden the rod, I had it underneath the lower railing of the pier, and luckily the reel, the heavy part hung up on that lowest rail and reached over there, and
a sheephead or something.
I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was probably some kind of trash fish.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a big old whiting. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, he swam by, decided, oh, that looks like a shrimp. I'll eat it.
Yeah, I used to do that when I was a kid. I'd go over to the creek and I'd throw little soft plastic jigs off the bridge, and man, I could sight fish the bass. But only problem was they didn't have any confidence. They were so confused on what that thing was. Like that I would leave it there and I'd let it sit on the bottom.
And then swim up and look at it?
And they'd swim up and look at it, and I'd barely twitch that thing. Just barely twitch it. Then I'd build their confidence, and when they got a little freaked out, they start turning around, twitch it a little bit more, excite them again. Then they'd finally take it, and I'd get me a,
1 pound bass, half-pound bass.
Yeah, half-pound bass.
Yeah,
that was a good day. It was a half-pound bass.
Yeah, I used to do that too over in Lake Creek. Back over there where I used to live, back over there off Anderson Mill Road.
Yeah.
There was now it's all developed and cuts all the way through to 620.
Mm-hmm.
But there, after Town and Country, where the baseball and fields and stuff are. Sorry, I'm done knotted my line up. But yeah, we used to do the same thing. And the only way the bass would ever eat was if you could get the perch to come over and start messing with the perch.
Yeah,
first. As soon as them perch started messing with it, that bass would run in there and take it from them perch.
Yeah, it's like confidence birds, man. It's like a confidence fish. Yeah, I can see how that happened. Man, speaking of birds, I was sitting in my stand this morning and 2 wood ducks, land right behind me in the creek. And so I just got to watch these 2 wood ducks, this drake and this hen, just doing their thing, and they'd slum up to the bank and get something to eat off the bank and do a little circle and dip down. And so it was just cool to watch them. And when I was doing my big lap on all the levee roads, my excursion there, did she pull a fish out? No. When I was walking on my lap over there, kicked up probably half a dozen blue wing on one pond, and then keep going down, then there was a ton of gadwall, at least 10 gadwall on another pond, and then right behind that there's another pond over there, and there's probably at least a dozen blue wing on that pond. And then there was one mallard sitting right next to my stand on this pond, and he was screaming at every single bird.
You had a lonely, horny hen over there just quacking up a storm.
Yeah, she was, man, screaming at every single bird.
Did it matter if it was a duck or not, or was she screaming?
Nope. She was screaming at cranes. She was screaming at buzzards. It's like, yeah, you go ahead and scream at that osprey enough, he'll come down and say hello, you know?
Yeah, them raptors don't have a season like we do.
Yeah, sure don't.
Yeah, I put a stalk on some wood ducks just to see if I could do it today. I got to within 20, but the problem was when I got to within 20, I didn't know they were there.
Yeah.
Because I saw them at 100 and they rounded a bend in the creek. And I, was like, well, you'd already told me you were getting ready to go shoot, and I was worried about stepping on a snake.
That's that time of year, man.
Because I was back in some thick stuff, and I was like, man, I ain't gonna play with them snakes. And I was like, that's the perfect excuse for me to get out of this mess I'm crawling around in, literally.
Yeah.
And I seen them 2 wood ducks, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna see if I can get up close enough and just see if I could even get on full draw on them.
Yeah, I texted him saying, hey, I'm gonna go shoot now. He said, okay, I'm gonna finish this stalk on these wood ducks. I was like, okay.
I got to within 20, but they were behind a big log.
That's pretty good, man. They're pretty on top of it, so
yeah,
that is pretty good.
And they took off making their wow 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 noise as they took off. But I seen a bunch of wood ducks today. I seen whatever those 2 ducks were that we jumped out of that pond when we walked up on your stand. I'm guessing probably gadwall.
Yeah.
They had that.
Probably gadwall.
They had that gadwall quack.
Yeah. Like, explain the difference in between like a gadwall and a mallard.
A mallard quack is like real loud and sharp.
Yeah, I think most people know what the mallard quack is. Now,
then,
like, how does that differentiate from, like, what does a gadwall sound like?
A gadwall's quack is softer and like lower pitched. Like,
I feel like it's a raspier.
It's
noise.
a little raspier, but it's never as loud, and it's never like a mallard quack typically has that sharp cutoff at the end.
Yeah.
And a gadwall just kind of like,
it's like runs out of air or something. Yeah.
Like it's always like soft and low. It's never got that crack to it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you listen to a bunch of mallards, or even like mallard farm duck crosses. You go out to a neighborhood duck pond to start throwing them bread, and they get in there and they all start quacking.
Mm-hmm.
They got that sharp. It just kind of cuts off at the end.
Don't people say you're not supposed to feed them bread? You're supposed to feed them like cat food or something?
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean,
I was always taken to the pond and say, hey, here's a moldy, stale loaf of bread. Get rid of it.
I mean,
it give you something to do.
It's straight carbohydrate, so it's not good for them.
No, I think there was something like it was like a choking hazard or something. I don't know. It was probably some. It was probably some PETA thing. Or
I've seen ducks eat perch,
trash bags.
Perch. I mean, they can eat whatever they want.
You seen that video of that dude? They're fishing in the boat, and then that cormorant ate that little channel cat, but it got stuck in his throat, and the cormorant was still alive.
Just
yeah, I was like, man, y'all sure are nice. I might not rescue it. I don't know. Just saying, I might not rescue it.
That's survival of the fittest, man. If you're dumb enough to try and eat a catfish.
I mean, dude, that spine was it. The spine on that catfish pierced through his throat.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was a dumb bird. But
Alright, that's a cast right there.
That's a cast. We're trying to see if
I'd like to catch another
a fish on this podcast. That'd be cool.
I'd like to catch at least one more. I'm about to the point where I'd say, alright, it ain't even got to be a keeper, but I sure would like to catch about a 12, 14-inch crappie. That'd make me happy.
Did you measure this white?
I didn't measure him. He's well over 10.
Yeah, for sure.
I
was just wondering if you.
Nah, he's probably.
I'd say the very minimum he's 12 something.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably closer to 14. He's a nice white bass. He's male too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, so we're just fishing a creek here. It runs through the public that we hunt over here, and close to both of our houses. It's about halfway in between both of our houses, so. Yeah, there's a couple of creeks and a couple of feeders that flow through this property, and it's pretty good. I like it out here.
Yeah, it ain't a bad little spot. I always catch at least 1 or 2 fish.
Mm-hmm.
And them damn largemouth over there feeding on the surface just... I don't know what they're eating, though.
Well, there's a ton of minnows over there. I've been watching the bait kind of bait kind of worked the surface over there, but it's definitely not the white bass coming up there.
If it is, I'm fishing wrong.
Well, we've tried dark colors, we've tried light colors, we've tried. See, I'm fishing some kind of
chartreuse and black crankbait.
Yeah, crankbait, and I'm trying spinnerbaits,
I'm trying a 1/4 ounce beetle spin with a white curly tail jig on the end to try and put some extra oomph on it, but
get it out there a little bit.
Well, just put a little extra action on it. You know, those beetle spin, the tails on them normally just have those two little.
Yeah.
And I found that if you put a curly tail on the end of them, they tend to catch a few more fish.
Yeah, I remember when I was young, before I'd ever even been crappie fishing, my dad and his friend went out. They were going to a spillway and fishing for them, and he came back and he had just bought, a whole package of jigs, the chartreuse jigs, and took them down there, and he came back with every single one of his new jigs, just the tails bitten off.
Yep.
I was like, man, what kind of tiny fish y'all fishing for? I could remember thinking that, like, why y'all even worried about that? Now here we are.
I don't know, man. I like crappie fishing, white bass fishing.
I love crappie fishing, man. But yeah, when I was little, I was like, why are you fishing so hard for something that only bites the tail off a lure? Like,
yeah.
What?
Well, and the thing is,
go catch a bass or a catfish,
and the thing is, your good lures, the tails are super soft on them, so they have really good action.
All right.
Now, see, the last time that happened, I walked over there and caught a fish.
This podcast is over now because I'm gonna walk over there and catch that fish. All right.
Check
out huntfisherpete.net.
Later, Trevor.